Okay, look, I don't know if you've seen this movie. Maybe you've already seen this movie and you clicked on the title and the thumbnail because you already knew you love this movie and you just knew you're going to watch some content about someone talking about how much they love this movie. Or you have no idea what I'm about to talk about and you're going to find out how much I love this movie. Now, I posted a video earlier about my favorite movie ever, which is Disney's Atlantis: Lost Empire. Still my favorite movie. However, this movie, probably number two. Alien. 1979. Alien. Directed by Ridley Scott. This movie is like nothing I have ever seen before. Well, that's not true. The Thing is also a really fantastic movie, and I totally recommend seeing that as well, but it does not top Alien. Not for me. This is one of the coolest science fiction universes I have ever encountered. I probably watched this movie for the first time when I was 16, and it was my very first horror movie that I ever saw. And I mean, unless you count Jurassic Park as a horror movie, which I kind of do, Alien was it. It was like the first R-rated horror film. And up until that point, I had been so terrified of ever watching a horror movie. Like I just was completely, not okay with handling that. I was like, I was just like, I didn't know what to expect. I had no idea. I'd never seen one. I was 16 and I'm pretty sure I found a copy of Alien on some very strange, sketchy website and downloaded it and watched it on my computer. It was one of the most fantastic experiences I have ever had, and to this moment, I am still chasing that high of being able to watch this movie for the first time. Why is it so good? I am going off memory here. Like I am not pulling up any information other than the IMDb rating, which is 8.5 or 8.4 out of 10, which is a very high IMDb rating. Most movies do not go that high. And it's probably review bombed a bit. Honestly, I feel like this movie deserves a little bit of a higher score, like at least a 9 out of 10, but that is personal bias. What makes this movie so good? It is the slow burn tension, the world building that is happening for the first half hour of the movie. You have no idea what is going on. You have no idea what is about to go on. And you are going to find out one of the most horrific things has boarded the ship. That is the spaceship that these folks are traveling on. Now, this is the greatest part about this movie because nothing had really been done quite like it before Alien. It was just so good. It was like the first of its kind, which is also another reason why it's so good. But the tension is just amazing. Like there is no movie I have ever felt so tense. Like I want to like just grip the desk other than Alien. Well, that's not true. A Quiet Place, the first one, was a really fantastic movie. Very tense. Really loved that one, but still not like Alien. Alien was like another, like, wow, just, oh my God. I think just the world. Okay. So it was made in 1979, right? So the technology back then was not that good. Computers were like still in their early phase where like you had the little green screens. Everything was green. Everything on the computer was green, maybe blue. And like they didn't look that great. So when you go to watch this movie now, you're like, wow, this movie is so old. Like who would watch this? Like, come on, this is ridiculous. Like you're asking me to watch this movie. It's like, man, it was made in 1979. This is 2026. Come on. No, seriously. This is the greatest part about that. The fact that those computers were so old and had these green screens and you kind of had to navigate them like a terminal system. That aesthetic stayed. It stayed throughout every other Alien movie that ever came out after since the series began. It became so iconic for the movie. This green screen terminal computer, it was just dope. It just looked so cool. It just fit the system so well. It made the world. It like, obviously this isn't the only thing that made the world, but it was a part of the world. And another great thing was the special effects. The special effects were fantastic. They actually made the alien costume. It wasn't CGI. None of the movie was CGI. This was amazing. Like, the amount of work that went into creating this costume and this creature is just phenomenal, and it looks fantastic. For 1979, this movie was so ahead of its time. It was just an amazing film. And like, man, I don't want to spoil it for you, because if you haven't seen it, it's just so great. Like, it's just so worth watching. Like, even if you're just not a big horror fan, or you're not like really into slow burn movies, if there is any slow burn movie I would say you should at least watch, this is the one. I watched what was it? There was a movie that Martin Scorsese did a few years ago, 2 years ago. I'm trying to remember the name. It'll come to me, but basically it was a slow burn, and I went there with a buddy, and he and I both couldn't have been more bored out of our minds. I felt guilty for bringing him to that movie. It was one of the most boring films I had ever seen. However, the story was interesting. I didn't hate the movie. I just didn't like how boring it was. But the content of the movie and the whole story was, in fact, good. It just moved at such an incredibly slow pace that it just felt like, wow, when is this going to end? And then 3 hours later, you're still thinking, did I really just sit through all of that? Anyway, those 3 hours I can't get back. However, with Alien, these are hours well spent. I honestly agree. I honestly believe this is just one of the greatest movies of all time. And it's just one of the best horror movies of all time. Like, you know how hard it is to find a good horror movie? Like, I've seen a lot now since Alien. But like, there's just a lot of bad horror movies out there. And I don't know what it is about horror movies and why they always just don't do that well. Like, for some reason, Hollywood forgot how to make horror movies. They're just kind of whatever. There's a few standout ones, don't get me wrong, but nothing has taken the cake like Alien. And if I remember correctly, it is actually ranked as the highest rated horror movie of all time. Now, that might have changed, but I'm pretty sure it still stands at the top of that list. And if it's not, it's definitely within the top 5. But I'm pretty sure it is still number 1. So, what else is great about Alien? Well, they made this entire universe out of Alien because it was so popular. Also, Aliens, the sequel. Aliens is also a fantastic movie, but it's slightly different. It's like an action movie. It's not so much about horror. There's a little bit of horror element. It's more like horror action. But Alien, man, oh man, I just can't get over it. So they made a video game about Alien. They made quite a few video games about Alien. They've also made a lot of really bad movies about Alien as well. Alien 3 and Alien 4, we don't really talk about. I love them, but they're, for most people, they're like, this is garbage. I totally ate all of it up and loved every minute of it. Wasn't as good as Alien and Aliens, but still, it was Alien. So I was enjoying it. And then there was Prometheus. And then there was, gosh, how many movies have there been? There's been so many. They recently did a TV show called Alien Earth, which is also quite good, but it's catering to Alien fans. I'm not sure if it's great for new people entering the series, and it's not perfect, but it's Alien, so I'm not complaining. But they did make another really good entry, which was Alien Isolation, the video game. And you're probably seeing that on the screen right now, which is most likely what I captured. This game is so freaking terrifying. It will ignite the primal survival instinct you have inside of you as a human being to just live and get away from this thing. You are being hunted, and it is the most scary, terrifying feeling. Alien is the whole concept of this creature is basically this near unstoppable killing machine designed to just destroy life and replicate itself. It is like pretty much the apex predator of apex predators. Now, if we're talking about Predator, which is a completely different movie franchise and also crossed over with Alien, which is also very cool, that could be the apex predator. That's hard to determine. There's AVP. That was kind of a good movie, also kind of a bad movie, and I'm not going to recommend that one. But if you like Alien and you like Predator, adding them both together was pretty great. And I hope they make more AVP. Like, I hope they make a good AVP. That would just be, God, I would love that. But here we are, Alien, 1979. the movie, the definitive movie that started it all. This is the movie you need to watch. If you haven't seen it before, you need to watch it. If you don't agree with me, you should probably just still give it a try anyway, because it's good. And if you come back, you watched it and you come back, you're like, I didn't like this movie. Fair. I understand. I would suggest you watch Aliens next, because Aliens is different and you might like Aliens instead. I really enjoyed Aliens. Aliens is kind of like a different vibe. It's more like horror action. And it's not so much of a slow burn. Either way, I hope to convert you to the Alien fandom, because this universe is just so bloody cool. Like, it just, God, I love it. Anyway, thank you for listening to me rant about Aliens, and Alien Isolation, as well as AVP, Prometheus, and Alien Earth. I will talk to you later. Peace.